How long are you Let's see.
Okay, so I was just gonna ask you from the last time we talked. Do you remember we talked about your uncle and what do you call it?
Secret Service? Is that what we talked
No,
about?
no. We talked about your uncles in the Secret Service.
Yeah, I figured that's what you're talking about. What else are we talking about?
We talked about utopian communities.
Oh my, that uncle!
Yeah.
Holy shit! Yeah, that uncle is.
Don't cuss.
Oh.
I'll
yeah,
bleep it out.
that uncle is. Yeah, he's interesting.
But what about the Secret Service uncle? What happened?
Nothing's happened with him. He's in the Secret Service and he's super cool. He's one of the heads, but what's cool about him is he gets to meet all important leaders and it'll give me perspective. Like he'll be like, he worked for Biden and he'd be like, he liked working for Biden, but it was just because Biden didn't make him do anything because Biden. And
wait, what? No, I feel like if you're the Secret Service, you're gonna be busy no matter what.
Yeah, but it wasn't because of what Biden. But then if you have Trump, Trump was like,
there's more
do this, do this, do this.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like some leaders are actually mean people, and you wouldn't expect it. Like there'd be some people that he'd be like, hey, I just don't like working for them because
Biden
they're
does
mean.
not seem mean at all.
No, Biden's not mean, and Trump wasn't mean. But one was more like Trump's definitely more demanding. He's not
I feel like
mean.
Barack Obama seemed to be more demanding than I would say Trump. Like I feel like Trump would do more things on his own, and Obama would do more things with the Secret Service. Or like I feel like if you're the Secret Service of Obama, you'd have more work.
Yeah, he'd want to use them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But your uncle was during Biden?
He was during all of it. So he
That's
started
insane.
probably Obama, but my grandfather was head of the Secret Service way back in the day, back when he was younger. Like he is for the Bushes and
Whoa.
all that. Yeah,
What?
he was like head. He
So
knew.
is Secret Service like a lineage thing then? So you can pass it on?
No.
No.
My uncle just happened to be crazy also.
Okay. Crazy?
Like, yeah, being Secret Service, like, you gotta be, like, super smart, athletic, gun trained, responsible, willing to die, all the above.
But I feel like if it's...
Like, they both were, like, policemen.
Yeah.
And then were the head of their departments in policemen.
Oh.
And then went
Climb
Secret
the
Service,
ranks.
and then climbed the ranks in Secret Service.
But how do you climb the ranks? Like, how
I don't
does...
know. It's, you just gotta be respected and liked. And
Okay.
be good at what you do, I guess.
But I guess you just have to have influence. I feel like anything political, you have to just have influence.
Yeah.
And I feel like if your grandfather was it, he probably had...
No.
No.
My family doesn't work that way. My grandfather gave him nothing. Like he was
Really?
like, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it. Like
But you can
just
say,
like he
you
did
can
it.
say that I'm the son of blank, blank, blank.
Yeah, and I'm sure like, oh yeah, your dad was such a cool guy, and they'll like talk to him about it, but they won't be like, because you're the son of your dad, you're gonna get more privilege.
Wait, I feel like you definitely do. There's so like...
Not in positions. You don't get maybe in like let me invite you to go watch this thing because your dad was who you are, but you're not gonna pay you more, and you're not gonna be higher ranked because of your dad. But not in Secret
I heard
Service.
this research study. It was I want to say it was like a Harvard study or like some very credible source. But it's basically about how people like a large 30% of the population or of like the higher class goes to work for places that their father worked for, or their like girls and mothers, of course. But
I think you could argue two things. One, absolutely, you get inspired by my grandfather inspired my uncle, and he was like, wow, my dad's such a cool guy in the Secret Service, I want to do that. So that's why he did it. The other thing you can argue is, yes, because of who your family is, and especially if your dad did a good job, you get privilege. My grandfather did not give him any privilege, and if he ever was like,
but it's not like giving privilege.
No,
it's
but
like being related to him is like inherent privilege.
Kinda, but you still gotta be the smartest and the most athletic. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think so. Okay, think about it like this. If Obama's kids, like, they're going to get in anywhere. Like, when they're applying to college, they're going to get in anywhere. It doesn't matter if they're smart or not. It's because the parents are alumni.
Oh, you're arguing a greater problem. Okay, I was arguing specifically
your case?
I was like arguing specifically my uncle did not like
well, let's go specifically to your uncle then.
In a greater case, yeah. Facts.
But okay, in your uncle's case, the fact that he was related to your grandfather is just like he knows things.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Like,
he was started early on,
Yeah.
so he had extra preparation.
And maybe like
extra...
certain things that your uncle was thinking about, he like vocalized it to his kid. Or sorry, certain things that your grandfather was thinking of. So like maybe the thinking was different. Like there's inherent differences. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah, I have a cool family. I feel like everyone's cool in my family except for like my mom, bro. She fell off.
What? Bro, what?
I feel bad. Like
Whose side is your uncle on?
My grandpa's, my mom's side.
Your
Like,
mom's side? Okay, then your mom's side is cool. What the heck?
No,
What
but
about
she's
the
lame.
Ethiopian uncle?
Bro, my dad's side. No, like everyone's cool except for my mom. That's what I'm saying. Like
Your
she's
mom's
the
cool
issue.
to kombucha or what is it?
Yeah, but like she's cool, but like
If you're
I have one of my aunts is a multi-million, she owns, like, she arguably billion. She has like private jet. She has her own, Vail, the ski resort.
No.
So it's one of the most prestigious ski resorts in America. It's really nice. It's called Yale.
Okay.
Or Vail. Why
Like
the hell did I say
V-E-I-L?
Yale? Yeah.
V-E-I-L.
And they have a slope side house. That's
Wait,
literally
I'm gonna search this
insane.
up.
Yeah.
Vail?
Now I'm curious too.
Yeah, let me pull it up.
Vail.
How do you spell it? VEIL?
I don't know. Probably.
Vail Ski Resort.
V-A-L-E.
Oh, VAIL Ski Resort. Okay. Oh, whoa, she owns all this?
No. She owns Slopeside House, which is
Oh.
ridiculous. Like, this is for, like, movie stars.
Oh,
People
really?
people see here. Or if you, like
I
even, like,
went.
if you get, like, a ticket there. Like, last year one of my friends got a ticket there, and they were, like, it was, like, a $2,000 day.
I don't think I would want to, if I was rich, I don't think I would want to live slopeside at a ski resort.
Live. Vacation.
Whoa, that is amazing. And she owns this?
Something like that, yeah.
She owns something
Yeah,
like
she's
that?
crazy. Yeah, so then, like,
Wow.
so that's what I'm saying. Like, my mom brought it. Poor mom.
Do you have family, like, out of the United States?
Bit, like, Netherlands? Is that what I mean? Like,
Oh, whoa. Like
we came from the
distant family
Netherlands.
or close family?
So my grandfather on my dad's side fought for the Netherlands
Mm-hmm.
in World War II. Yes. And came over to America. It was my dad's first gen.
Okay.
So, but his family is Netherlands. So, like, we have a whole, like part of the tree that's still Netherlands.
Okay.
But I don't know them, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've never been over there.
What? Are you not interested in, like, getting with them?
My Oma, I call her
My
my Oma.
Oma.
She's my great grandma. She's like born there. She
Is that a Netherlands thing?
Yes, well, it's a Dutch thing.
Dutch thing. Okay.
She's still alive. She lives in California with my dad's side.
Okay.
But, like, because when her husband died,
Uh-huh.
she had no reason. Like, she was like, I don't know, she came over here.
Okay.
And actually, it was my great grandpa that was in World War II. My grandpa was just kind of casually in Canada.
Have you met your grandpa?
He died.
Before you got to meet him?
My brother met him when he was a baby. My great grandma's still alive.
Oh.
It was tough. She's like 96.
Does she have World War II stories? Like trauma? Okay.
She does, but hers were like, I was back home when my husband was at war. I was back home
so
with my
nothing-
husband. Or
so-
she'll tell stories about him being really cool, and while she was like at home.
Oh, so she didn't have like involvement or anything?
No, not really. She was just like a mother and a
Aw.
wife.
Aww.
Was doing her best.
Wait, that's cute though. I feel like the whole you have crazy family.
I'm looking jealous of people with culture. I know it's a crazy thing. Like I feel like
Okay,
it
Dotty,
can be
what the
taken.
heck?
I know that can be
Netherlands,
taken.
like-
No. You don't understand. Like what is like I don't have my family doesn't have a food like
Okay,
like special holidays. I'm just like white, you know.
I agree with that, but I think it's more than just food. Like for me, it's
It's your culture. That's what I'm saying. Like
culture, but it's also like hearing the stories. Like I think hearing the stories of like if you were to get in touch with like the Netherlands side, I think that's the equivalent.
I guess, but like growing up, like for you, Indian,
Mhm.
you get to do the beautiful Indian dances and wear the Indian outfits, and it's like you have the culture side of your life, and you get to have the Indian food, and it's just part of you. And same with like if you're East Asian, you grow up with the more Chinese style food if you're Chinese, or if you're African, you grew up with whatever country. You know what I'm saying? Like culture.
You have that too. I mean,
No.
maybe you didn't grow up with it, but like you can get in touch with it.
I know. I just wish I had it. Like just naturally, like my family was culture. Like
I
we
mean,
like had a
that's-
culture.
I think it is cool because
Yeah.
for us, for Indians at least, Tamil, the language I speak is the oldest.
That's
language.
tough.
Yeah, I know.
Like-
Like watching movies and stuff, it kind of just clicks in your head. Like, wow, that's like my lineage. So
Yes.
I get what you're
Like
saying.
what do I have? Like oh shit, bro. Like oh shoot. Like yeah, I'm Italian. Sure, I'm Dutch. Sure,
You're
I'm
Italian
just
too,
white.
Dotty, what?
That's not cool. That's not
Yes, it
interesting.
is.
No, it's not. You know how
Have
many
you been to
Italians came to
Venice?
Ellis Island? Yes.
Like, that's so cool. Venice, like you built.
I
a city on
didn't.
water.
I didn't come from Venice though. I came from like a little 3 hours from Rome. Like a little.
Okay,
little
Rome.
Venice
Are
is
you
tough,
kidding me?
though.
There's so much history, even in. Because white is European, and Europe
I'm
is
not
so much
European. Well, I guess
Netherlands, Dutch.
Netherlands is European. But I think European, I think Britain. Is that weird?
When you think
European, I think
European,
Great Britain.
Great Britain. Oh. Okay, I think that's like a misconception though, because France is Europe.
Everything's Europe.
Like,
Greece is Europe.
Yeah, like Switzerland.
Part of
is
Russia is Europe.
Yeah.
But I just think GB. Or I
Actually,
think England
isn't
in general.
Great Britain is not in the European Union anymore.
That's crazy.
It was what do you call it? Brexit. The British exit. Wait, when was this?
What countries are in the Great Britain? Is Wales, England?
Brexit was in 2020, January of 2020.
Wales, England.
Okay, European Union. I know it's majority of.
Are you
literally
everything? Are you
literally
in the countries that are in Great Britain or in England? Which one's which?
England is its own country.
Okay, which one? England, Wales. What else is in Great Britain?
Like cities in Great Britain?
No, countries. What is the one that's like a combination?
Great Britain is a country, is it not?
There's one that's like 3 countries.
Great Britain is a country.
Look at
UK?
England. UK. Yeah, what's in UK?
United Kingdom of Great Britain. Okay, what countries are in UK?
Oh, it's Scotland, Wales, England.
Scotland, Wales, England. Okay.
See, that's such a random thing. That's what I think of when I think Europe. Is that weird?
No, because I think a lot of people think that.
What do you think when you hear Europe?
You
don't
France.
think Greece.
I think France.
Yeah.
When I think of
France,
Europe,
true.
I think
France.
of, like.
France or Great Britain.
Okay, but you know what's crazy? Okay, Italy, the culture in Italy versus the culture in France. Like, and the culture in, do you know Darby French? She's in Dublin, Ireland. That's Europe. Like, if you think of when I think of Italy, I think of, like, brown. Like tan colored people, I don't know why.
Yeah, no, it's because that's what they look like. Dark hair.
Well,
maybe
Italians
not tan.
are light.
Italians have dark hair, though. Brown hair.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. But then, like, French
brown
also.
French,
lighter skin.
French looks like America. You have all mix of everybody.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, if you think about it now, everybody's everywhere. Like they're like, do you remember that girl, the German exchange student?
French, yes, but France is known for being. You look like they have all different. Like they have black people, Asian people, white people.
Sure,
less than like most. Like it's like known for just like America's known
like
for.
Canada.
Canada has lots of people, but like Italy, it would be harder to find an Indian person. You're gonna be.
I'd argue not anymore. Like not anymore.
Compared to America?
Well, comparing anything to America is like kind of crazy because America is like literally the land of immigration.
True.
But like compared to France, compared to like other countries in the European Union, I feel like Italy is definitely.
Genuine question.
Yeah.
Where would you find Indians in Europe?
Do you know Natsuki, Germany? There's so many Indians in Germany.
That is
random.
Germany. I did not know that.
Yeah. But Natsuki she was I don't know too much about her. I like had a quick conversation with her, but she's Sri Lankan.
Damn, why not Indians in Germany?
Yeah, and there's a lot.
Germany's tough though.
There's a lot, and I want to say this. I might be wrong when I say this, but like Jamaica, like at least Tamil people kind of had origins in Jamaica. So it's like you're literally spread across the world.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think it's interesting to classify people like Indians, Asians, like.
Do any of them hang out in South America?
I mean, probably.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
There's definitely
like
less. I feel like South America is where you kind of get more concentrated into. I want to say this in the right term, but like you get more concentrated there.
Mm-hmm.
It's less diverse. Because also, have you heard about the Amazon rainforest? I feel like you'd be very interested in this.
Like, what do you mean? You heard about it? Just like its existence?
Like, well, yes and no. But like, what do you call it? Untouched communities? No, not untouched.
Like, there's people in there that civilization is just a civilization.
Yes.
So, not just Amazon rainforest. There is actually, okay, so this is a crazy thing. This is something I'm crazy interested in, which is so random. So, you know how
I knew you would be interested in this.
You know how we're Homo sapiens?
Yes.
And how every single human on planet Earth traces back to Homo sapien blood.
Yeah.
And how there's also Neanderthals, and there was like other versions of humans. Yeah. But we are all Homo sapiens. There is a race of people living on an island. They're black, very, 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 very black, like dark skin, and they're 99% Homo sapiens, but they're the only humans in this specific island,
Mhm.
and they trace back to a different version of humans than anybody else in the
Whoa.
whole entire world, and it's crazy. And they're the people. You've definitely heard this story because I've heard it a lot of times, but when I heard it the first time, I was like, "What the heck?" They are untouched by us, by
Like, we've
the
never
outside
seen
world. No, we've seen them, but we don't touch them. Like, they are spears, like, way back civilized. And one time, like, we've sent like things from nowadays, like, to their island, and they're just kind of see what happens. But they have not. They're so, like, evolved behind us. They're doing their own thing.
Do you know the name?
No,
I'll search it up.
I used to.
How would I search this up?
Start with the, like, Homo sapien things. People that the small island with blood slightly not Homo sapien.
99% Homo sapien.
Well, I'd feel like you'd want to start not Homo sapien.
Wait,
Because
Flora
that's
is in Indonesia. Do you know if it's Indonesia?
Look at the people. I would know from the people.
Images. No?
Look up.
With 99%.
No, don't just say that. Say
not.
yeah,
complete.
with not full. Yeah, exactly.
Wait.
Blood or whatever DNA.
Flora's manhunt. Flora's in Indonesia. That's the only one that's
My dad would know. Where's my phone?
Do you know what country?
My dad would know. This is making me very sad because if you asked me freshman year, you give it all the details. I haven't talked about this in like 2 years.
So if they're 99% Homo sapiens, what's the 1%?
Where?
Because isn't Homo sapiens like the description for all humans?
So Neanderthals have like flatter heads. Homo sapiens have like the rounder head.
Okay.
They're from another thing, but I don't know. Let me look it up. Where are the people that aren't full?
This is really interesting to me because Denisovans, the interbreeding occurred outside of Africa, leading to a mix of Homo sapiens and archaic hominin DNA.
Is that right? Shows the people.
They're very, very black. Is that? I feel like they wouldn't have pictures of this. Why would they have pictures of this?
They're black and white. The ones that we saw. There was a whole article. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay. But it doesn't try to have not had contact with any of them. No, but I got interested in this. Do you know who Paul Rosalie is?
Is he the guy that got eaten?
No. He's basically like a nature conservationist in for the Amazon rainforest because they're cutting stuff down. Because like the lodgers are coming and they're basically paying people to cut down these like you can't even say how old these trees are in the Amazon rainforest because it's so rich in like just animals and it's insane. I love the Amazon rainforest. Paul Rosalie actually started like a lodge up there. It's really cool. You would really like this. Let me Denisovans.
Wait, Papua New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea.
Guinea.
Community. The last untouched tribes.
Yeah, this feels right.
Koraway tribe.
It feels like we're getting there.
Okay, Koraway tribe. That makes sense. They're hunter-gatherers and...
Yeah, this feels right. Or feels similar, if not
Okay.
like perfect on thought.
Okay, let's look at images.
Yeah,
that make
these are
sense?
and these people are different fundamental like DNA than us. Not 100%, but there's part of
Do you
them
think
that
that
is
they're mixed with animals? Because what other...
Okay, so no. So the original things, we were all apes.
Yes.
But apes, there's so many apes,
Right.
and from different parts of the world, we all evolved different ways to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
The way we evolved, we were able to outsmart animals, and like the thing where we like let animals run off cliffs and get like gather their food and things like that. The ways we survived, they would do separate things. So, for example, Neanderthals are the ones you learn about because they were less intelligent. They didn't grow their prefrontal cortex. That's why their heads are so flat. And so were Homo sapiens back in the day, but that's from the original apes. So we evolved from that. So if you look at like Lucy the skeleton and things like that, we start to gain...
What's Lucy the skeleton?
The first human skeleton found. And that's when we actually started to gain prefrontal cortex. You know what the prefrontal cortex does? They did not have that. But there's lots of different versions of people that the apes
How did
turned
we
into.
develop prefrontal cortex? Do you know?
Well, it's just over time we gained ability to have empathy and feelings, and they didn't, because we just did. That's how it happened. I don't know, how does anything
But
evolve?
okay,
That
that
helps
raises
us survive.
That
We
raises
survive
so
better
many
with
questions then, because we're not the only species of animal then that works off of being in a group. There's so many others.
Or worse off having prefrontal. A lot of animals have emotions and feelings and can feel for other people, and it helps them survive. So we survived and they didn't.
So then why did we not have it, and then why did we develop it? Does that make sense to you? Because if we were always like a very social species, what turned that switch into?
Well, I don't think there was a switch. I think it was over hundreds of thousands of years. The people that had slightly more of that survived more and more and more, and over time it.
Natural selection.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
But these people came from something different, and it's crazy that you can still. The crazy part is that was hundreds of thousands, almost millions of years ago, and yet they still have it in their DNA, which is the craziest part, because they keep breeding with themselves, so it just keeps coming, and we don't touch them.
They have the part of them that doesn't have a prefrontal cortex. I think I got lost.
So that was me just giving an example of differences.
Okay.
I don't know what I don't know the difference between whatever they were, the Denisovians with Homo sapiens, but it probably wasn't too extreme, because obviously they still have it in them.
Yeah.
I just think it's insane that they're genetically a different version of human.
Yeah.
Like that is
wild.
And that it's still something that we look at their DNA and our scientists are able to see. Like
I think
that's
so
something
cool.
it's
Like,
not even
for
on.
preservation, I feel like that's such a humans. I don't know why, but I have this very negative view of humans. It's just we create, but we also destroy a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you think about the way that the environment is naturally, it's just so pretty, and I feel like even in parts of Europe, the places that people like to go are places that are more untouched, like tourist destinations.
Yeah.
You think oh my god! And do you know what? It actually hurt my heart when my parents told me about mountains and stuff, and how they're not always natural. We broke the earth to make mountains for people to oh my. Have you been to Colorado?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just driving through there, they broke those mountains. Isn't that insane?
It's sad.
But also
I
the
think
power
it gets
of humans.
I think it gets even worse. You could be humans are hurting the environment, but we are so technologically advanced now.
Technologically.
Yeah. And we're just going to get more advanced, and we're just going to get more advanced at a quicker rates, and it's concerning.
I don't think quicker rate.
Yes, quicker rate.
But
we went from,
as you get more advanced, it gets harder to get more advanced.
No, we went from no computer to computer in, let's say, 100 years. And then we went from that in 50 years to Google, and from that to 20 years to AI, and then that 5 years to microchips. It's quicker and quicker and quicker rate.
But you reach a point where it's what else?
No, there's so much else at all times. For example,
or maybe not what else, but how do you get to the next spot? You think
there's more people, more brains, and more computer technology helping us get to the next spot at a quicker rate. We have more money, more time, because we have more AI and more
But that's also
things.
How do you think people are going to continue to invest into technology in those industries when?
Yes. You don't think people are going to invest into technology in the industries?
I mean, I think they will, but at some point there's going to be a decline. I feel like we're on the incline right now, but I feel like every industry has its decline at some point. So it's I don't think you can say that it's only going to increase.
Not for a long time, because we still got to get. We got to get to a point where it starts.
AI?
We got to get probably microchips and genetically modifying humans. I mean, we're already touching that.
We're already touching that, but then what's that? That's also
we don't know.
That's
we
also
didn't know
bordering healthcare.
We didn't even know we were AI. We didn't even know any of it before. 50 years ago, it was thought up and then it was done. Thought up. And
Wait, you don't think they thought of AI 50 years ago?
I mean, not to the extent it's probably doing now. They didn't think of really cell phones. No one thought cell phones wasn't even thought of until it was done.
Okay, I do agree with you. We're definitely on the incline right now, but
I think there will be a decline until something negative
between
happens. Until AI harms us, not takes our jobs, but turns on us or something drastic that we're oh, maybe we should stop on this. And I don't think that's me for a long time.
Wait, I'm saying this. What's the jump from phones and AI to teleportation and stuff like that?
teleportation's a whole different thing. I did a research paper on that.
Oh, really?
And that's not gonna. Teleportation is not gonna. There's no jump. That would be, if we get to teleportation, that's gonna be a really, really epically long time.
But I'm saying like we reach the max we can right now. You don't think there's gonna be like a slight hesitation of like what's next? Like at some point
We're
gonna
nowhere
do
near
everything.
the max. Like we're just now thinking, okay, what if we 3D print a kidney? Like we just started. We're just starting on that.
I mean, I'm not like I'm definitely agreeing with you that we're on the incline right now.
Okay.
But I'm saying the decline is maybe not even soon, but there's gonna be a decline.
In theory, but don't you think if technology, how could there be a decline in everything? Let's say travel, where we can travel easier. Why would there be a decline in cars until you get something that's better than cars? So you're saying there's gonna be something that's better than technology? Like,
okay, I'm thinking of like you're an athlete, right? When you start off small, like when you start off young and you're progressing, a little switch to your swing in tennis or something makes a big change.
okay.
So you have room to grow. But then after you're like at this level of competition where everybody's really good, you doing the little things like playing every day doesn't make that much of a difference. You need to start making like big changes to actually make a difference.
I see what you're saying, but I don't think technology will be one of those things that we need big changes. It's going to be one of those things that's like a supporter of what we're doing elsewhere. That's the big changes. It makes life easier. It makes things easier to make big changes. I think big changes will be inventions using technology, with the support of technology. Because technology, our computers are just going to get smarter and smarter and smarter and smaller and smaller and smaller, and be able to do more and more and more things. And that's not the, that's not the invention. The invention is what does that help us do. And yes, those are progress, and yes, those are inventions, but that's not what we're thinking of. We're thinking of what is a small computer? Why? Okay, sure, we invented a small computer. Now, what can we do with this teeny tiny computer? Oh, it's a microchip. We can put it in someone's brains and fix cancer really quick, or something.
Okay, I see where you're going with that.
But the issue is, I think a separate issue is, okay, now we have technology that can help us in every which way. Let's say 200 years. Okay, now we have technology that everything we can think of currently right now can help us. When is it too far? So, like, we read a short story last year.
Why would it ever be too far?
Ready?
Yeah.
So we read a short story last year. It's like, if you can fix the embryo in your stomach to be exactly what you want it to be, is that too far? So I don't want a baby with brown eyes. I want a baby with blue eyes. I don't want my baby to be short. I want my baby to be tall. I don't want my baby to be weak. I don't want my baby to be black. I want my baby to be white. Now there's no disabled people that are born disabled. Sure, there's no people with autism and missing fingers or ADHD and things like that. But now everyone's perfect, and now there's getting to more of a classist thing. The wealthy people can do that, the poor people can't, so the wealthy people are perfect genetically modified humans and the poor people aren't. And now there's no uniqueness, and now I guess into a crazy did we take it too far? Or you can or not even genetically modifying the embryo, but creating an embryo, like having a lab of humans.
Yeah.
And now you get into human trafficking, but are they even really, like, we just created these humans? Like, whose humans are these?
It gets complicated when you involve government, too. Because what if the government picks up on that and says, hey, we want, like, everybody in the United States to be perfect?
So I don't see that happening, but I can see the government trying to control it and being like, here are the regulations of it.
Yeah, that's a crazy assumption. That's like assuming that everything's corrupt, basically. Yeah.
Then the government being like, but then you have people that are like left versus right don't want the government controlling it, but if the government's not controlling it, so now it's just corporations, capitalist corporations that are in charge of genetically modifying humans, so it gets weird. So
what article is this? You read it in English?
It was a short story about what if.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't like a scientific thing.
Okay.
But it made us all think, and like, because it was one of those things where the girl realized she was not perfect. Kind of like, it was a short story, but it reminds me a lot of, the dystopian novel with the girl that chooses to be strength and turns out she's all 5. With 4, the hot guy 4. Gosh, come on, help me.
It's
It's not Hunger Games, it's the other one. What is the two What's the most popular? Divergent. God, what the hell is wrong with
Oh,
me?
I haven't
Divergent.
even read Divergent.
Oh, what the heck? Divergent is
No.
iconic.
I've read oh my god, I was trying to think of this book the other day, but I keep slipping my mind. But it's The City of Ember. Oh my god,
I love The City of Ember.
I love that book.
Oh, I love The City of
I've
Ember.
been trying to think of this
So
for
they live
weeks.
underground and then escape, and she
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's like you have the Ember because they all live in light.
Yeah.
Because there's no.
I brought the entire book series. The first time did you ever go to Mathnasium? Okay, so basically you do pages and they give you punch cards, and I got a $25 gift card because I had like 25 punch cards.
Okay.
And this is the first thing I bought.
Freaking love it,
I love
and
the
it gets and they escape it, but then the third book's really mad because it talks about some like random future woman. It's, like,
I
not
hadn't
about-
got past the first book. I brought the entire series, but I didn't read it. So.
It gets mad. I'm not gonna lie. One time I had to submit a journal entry in like 5th grade, and I was like didn't do it, so I copied word for word the first opening chapter of the 3rd book of City of Ember, and I got a really good grade.
Oh, really? I think The City of Ember is like The Giver. Have you ever read The Giver?
Giver's
Sorry.
more famous.
Well, I mean,
But-
yeah,
similar
but, like,
concept.
Similar concept. Like utopian society, like everybody's kind of perfect.
Oh, dystopian. Utopian's crazy.
Utopian, dystopian are low-key interchangeable.
No, utopian's the idea of a perfect society. Dystopian is the perfect society did not work out.
I mean, arguably the same thing. So, because utopian, like, when would utopian work? I mean, I feel like
No,
communism
it's the
is,
idea
like,
of it. I was about to say
really-
that.
Yeah.
But it's the idea of it. Like utopia is like we're living in a utopia. It's
Oh,
the
so
idea of a
basically-
perfect society.
So basically, utopian is like positive, dystopia is negative. Okay.
Utopia is what dystopia people strive for. The reason why,
Mhm.
like in the book I was talking about, Divergent,
Mhm.
the reason why it's like that is because they thought if we separate people by 5 different qualities,
Mhm.
society will thrive better. It's a utopian society. But the reality is if people have only one quality and not all the qualities,
Mhm.
then they're negative,
Yeah.
dystopian.
Okay, I'm gonna say something, but this might be a little controversial. But every time I've learned about communism and like socialism, utopianism, stuff like that, I feel like they just never did it right.
Socialism has been done right. Socialism is in a lot of countries, like New Zealand is socialist.
Are they thriving?
Yes,
Okay.
socialism absolutely can thrive. So do you understand the difference between communism and socialism?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Socialism
Wait,
thrives.
explain a little though.
Okay.
Just to, like, so we're on the same page.
Socialism, the healthcare,
Mhm.
and you get taxed a lot more, but healthcare
Mhm.
is provided, education is provided. So if you go to the hospital, if you're ever injured and things like that, that is provided to you. Everyone
Yeah.
is universal. Everyone has the same government privileges, but you can still make different incomes
Yeah.
by your job. You're not
Yeah.
given the same food like communism, same wage like communism, but you're given the same overall benefits as a person living in this society.
So how far are we from socialist society then?
We're extremely far. You go to
Argue, like, no, because we have the same healthcare. Like,
no. You go to no.
Oh, I
You
mean,
go
I guess we
to-
don't have the same healthcare.
At all. You
Yeah.
go to a hospital and you will spend a lot of money
Yeah.
because it's a corporation. They're trying to make doctors rich.
Oh.
When you're in New Zealand, for example, doctors make money. They do a good job, but they don't make nearly as much money unless
Yeah.
you're like a private doctor that's hired for a specific reason,
Okay.
like plastic surgery, or I have a specific cancer that's not paid for with the government's money.
So socialism is just better for the people.
Yeah, the
It's
reason
not
why
better for, like, making profit though, and like it's not better for being able to climb in society like. democracy
you
kind of.
can because you can
Way harder though. Think about if you're a doctor. Like if you're a doctor in the United States, you're getting paid bank.
Right.
If you're a doctor in a socialist society like New Zealand,
You're
then-
still being paid bank. You're just not being paid as much bank because, I mean,
but like everybody's in it's not like a ladder now. It's like a pool, and maybe you're on the higher end of the pool, but you're like you're not that far away from somebody who's in a lower class than you.
yes, which is kind of the idea of it.
Yeah.
Which is why people like capitalism is because the rich are richer.
People don't like capitalism.
But those who like capitalism is because you can arguably get rich,
yeah.
like actually rich.
Yeah. Actually, I take that back. People do like capitalism.
Yeah.
Because you have that idea that you can climb the ranks. Like that's literally
Exactly.
the American.
Yeah,
like,
no matter how poor you are,
Yeah.
if there's in your capitalist society, you can get rich. That's
Yes.
the idea.
Yeah. Okay, another thing.
But you can't take
Yeah.
a capitalist society and turn it socialist because, I mean, for obvious reasons, you can't take a socialist country. You can maybe turn a socialist country capitalist, but
yes, you can.
you think you can turn America, 300
Yes.
million people socialist?
Definitely.
And there won't be riots and anger and political parties will go crazy. That's like saying we should take away the Second Amendment.
You can only do anything with, like, mass support, though. Like, you can't even make socialist society capitalist.
No way we could turn America socialist.
But, okay, how are you going to turn New Zealand socialist? Like, or capitalist?
So
like,
that's...
You need support either way.
Socialist to capitalist is an easier jump because it's
no, because then you're gonna have all the poor people, like maybe not the poor people, but all like the middle class people being like, no, we don't want the rich to get richer.
No, yeah. Socialist people don't want capitalist. I just think it's probably an easier jump from purely political views. From going from socialist is just okay. Now you have less healthcare and you start spending money on that. Mm-hmm. Capitalist is now the rich people who are the people in power are making less money. Those people are going to get angry and ruin a lot of things. But when you actually think about it,
okay, you're thinking of like deep state, like the rich control.
Yeah, capitalist countries are rich absolutely in control. Think about Elon Musk right now, bro.
Okay, yeah, but think about how many politicians are like opposed to that.
Bro, name one. Name one that's genuinely opposed. Like, think like even like Nancy Pelosi. Go look at how much money she has and how much her house is. Obama. Go look at like all 5 of his homes and things like that. Every single politician is rich and takes money. Like, seriously.
But there's definitely politicians.
Look at the congressmen that are making all this money. And you can be like, oh no, they just know where to invest their money.
I think you're just thinking of like the few though. I mean, okay, really? I definitely agree that the government is run on money and like the higher class, but there's still people speaking out against stuff like that. Like, I really can't think of any examples off the top of my head. But, like, the names you mentioned, like Nancy Pelosi, all these names, those are, like, people that are very obviously on media for those reasons. And, like, they're, like, speaking up, like, with very clear views of that. Does that make sense? Like, you don't see the behind the scenes of, like, okay, I went to the Virginia House of Delegates for, like, an over the summer program.
Okay.
And you can very clearly see the divide, like, between people who are like obviously speaking out against like stuff that have to do with corruption and like monetary dependence and stuff, and then you have people that are like, oh, like let's do this because of blank. Like you can very clearly see the divide. So I feel like in either case, socialism or capitalism, like whatever like state you're in, you need mass support to switch.
Yes.
And arguably it's the same.
I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if any countries have successfully gone from socialism to capitalism recently.
Let's find out.
I feel like it's got to be a smaller country.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I didn't even know New Zealand was a socialist society.
It's gotta be like Norway, Sweden, something like that. No, those are socialists. It's gotta be like
socialist to capitalist. The Soviet Union or many other Eastern.
Bro, they went communist, capitalist. Like, don't lie, bro.
Yeah.
We all know y'all were communists.
China, Vietnam, while still officially socialist.
Yeah.
Okay,
these are bad answers, I think.
Yeah. Also, wait, you know the AI overview thing? Never check that. I don't know why I'm listening to that right now, but that's such a bad... That's literally ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So
I like the AI overview if I'm going for something that's like a numerical answer.
Is Rail in India?
India?
Yeah, that's what I just saw on this page.
Wait, I didn't know that at all. Did India used to be socialist? That's crazy. They have so many people.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it.
Like,
India's
recently?
India's very corrupt also. There's a lot, like,
bro,
more
India a mess.
more than the United States.
India, like,
for example,
India and China single-handedly ruining our environment, bro.
Oh. The preamble to India's constitution, for example, begins, "We the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic."
What the heck?
That's
they can't just say, I'm socialist and democratic and republican and secular. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, as soon as the guns of World War II fell silent.
So maybe it's socialist some ways, like they give like some sort of...
what makes sense is to have both.
Okay, wait. Like, democratic. You vote in people that make socialist decisions. Is that what they're saying? Republic is okay. So Republic is you vote at people that make decisions for you. Democratic is you make decisions.
Yes.
Socialist is.
I think it's just
government gives you more things.
I think it's basically you have the rights. Here are the rights. Now, here are also things that the government offers and is making standard. So like here you have your rights. You can vote. You can get representation. But now, you also have these like things to equalize the people. I think that's what that means. But I don't. The government planners are unable.
I'm gonna separately look up. Countries. What do we look up? Capitalism and socialist.
That went from socialist to communist. Or sorry, socialist to capitalist.
So I'm gonna look capitalist to socialist.
Socialist to communist. I feel like there's a very easy shift. Socialist to communist. There's a fine line.
Yeah, y'all went a little overboard.
That's why it might even be harder to go to you know how you said it's easier to go from socialist to capitalist than it is capitalist to socialist? It might even be harder to go from socialist to capitalist because you're so close to communism.
Before I look up directly, I think what is going to say is it's much, much easier to go from capitalism to socialism.
Okay.
Because countries like Soviet Union, China, things like that, because I think they're claiming, in like Vietnam, they're claiming communist countries as socialist.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're going to say.
I think that makes sense.
All right, let's
Because again, fine line, right?
Let's read the AI. Okay, several countries transitioned to primarily socialist, or communist systems. Boo, that's not what we care. We don't care.
Wait, don't go to AI overview. Go to like
Soviet, China, Vietnam, bro. Okay, India. Okay.
Okay, but now my question is, how are you gonna say socialism is so close to capitalism? Or sorry,
communism.
Yeah, I keep mixing these up. Socialism is so close to communism, but a society can have hints of capitalism and socialism. Like, how does that work? Would there not be so much conflict?
Bro, I think the computers are just stupid. Communism is so different than socialism. Communism doesn't work because it's impossible for somebody, the leader, not to want more, not to be okay with being equal with every single person in the country.
This is my thing. I think it's possible, but I don't think it's sustainable. Like, you can definitely have a leader that's not greedy.
Maybe a communist group of 15 people, but you think you can have a communist country? Like, genuinely?
You can have it, but it's not going to be sustainable. That's where the problem with communism is. Yeah. You can't expect every leader to be the most righteous person ever. Like, that's why I feel like terms and, like, the regulation in the United States is really good. Because now you're, like, there's so many checks and balances, but communism just, I mean, you probably could, have this, like, a state of government where you
Is Poland socialist? Wasn't it? It's the happiest country. Is it socialist? I feel like socialist countries are always happy.
Did you say happiest country?
Yeah.
Poland is the happiest country?
Isn't it?
How do you know that?
It's not on Instagram.
Maybe. Is Poland the happiest country? I mean, what's the standard of happiness, though?
America's not the happiest country. We're, like, down there. We did this in E-Push, actually.
I mean, makes sense. Poland is not considered the happiest country in the world.
What is the happiest country?
Top 10 are Finland, Denmark, Iceland,
Finland!
Sweden,
Bro, I'm stupid. I just mixed up Poland and Finland.
Bro, if I was in Costa Rica, I would be the happiest. I don't know, like, I feel like Dublin, Ireland. If I was in a place in Europe where there was no sun, I don't think I'd be happy.
Wait, what is happiest countries again?
Finland, Denmark, Iceland, Sweden, Netherlands.
Netherlands! Yes, let's go. Poland is the same thing as Denmark, Finland, and Norway, bro. Like, what is the difference? Come on.
Poland's ranking score is 644, placing in 35th position.
Can you look up, is Poland socialist?
I don't think so.
Now I'm curious. What are the socialist countries?
It's not socialist right now.
They keep listing. These places keep listing communists whenever I look it up. They don't understand the difference.
Oh, they transitioned to democracy in 1989. Peacefully transitioned away from communist rule and embarked on a path toward a market economy and liberal democracy. Okay, so democracy and communism are very separate. Then how are you going to say Democratic Republic Socialist? All in one thing with India's preamble.
It's a circle. And right here is communist, and right here is fascist. Fascism. Oh. The extreme. You're thinking extremes. Communism, fascism. Next to fascism, over here, is capitalism.
Okay.
Next to communism, over here,
Socialism.
is socialism.
Okay.
And then in the middle is
Wait, I'm
probably
blanking.
what they are.
What's
So
the
it's not a
difference between
circle, it's a
fascism and
line.
communism? Far right political idea.
That is it. You know what you just said right there. What is the difference between fascism and communism? Is what people is like the fundamental thing. So the two extremes, really, what is the difference? What's like everything is completely different about them, but in the end, nothing's different about them.
Because
Like,
I'm thinking
look up what it
Italy's
is.
fascist.
Read the definition out loud, and you're gonna be like,
Okay.
what the heck is fascism?
Is a far-right political ideology and movement characterized by authoritarianism, extreme nationalism, and the suppression of opposition. It often involves a strong, charismatic leader and centralized state with focus on militarism and national expansion.
It's like extreme. It's like you have so much rights and liberty that we're so happy. Okay, so now I feel like we're getting into dictatorship. That's what the argument is.
Fascism and communism are distinct political and economic ideologies. With
This is the date we had an APUS, actually.
Fascism is right wing. Communism, on the other hand, is left wing.
They're the extreme opposites.
That's so crazy because I feel like they're so similar. Like I feel like everything we've learned in maybe I like misinterpreted what we learned, but like Italy was so similar to like the stuff that we learned about in Russia.
I think it's because we think dictatorship, because there's dictatorship kind of in both, and when we hear dictatorship, we
kind
equate
of
with them both,
associate
and then
them,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
People argue like Trump fascist. You understand?
Yeah.
They'll be like Trump's a fascist. He's not.
But on what grounds?
No, he's not. That's the people.
But what grounds are they making that argument on?
Oh, he's so extreme. He's like such an extreme. He's in charge, and yet he's not going through Congress. He's not doing all the things that a president should be doing. He's more fascist. But really, what it means is people feel like he's being more of a dictator. He's doing more than the president of the United States should do. His power, he should be more equal, and he's not.
Wait, more equal in what? Though?
To the Congress.
Like give them more say in what he does.
Yes.
But
That's
isn't
the argument.
whole point of the government that you can't do anything without Congress, though?
Yeah, except Trump is, and that's why people are unhappy.
But the thing is, I feel if he's still making an impact without Congress, at this point he's like making a social movement at that point. Like you're just impacting things based on people agreeing with you, and if people are agreeing with you, then good job. Does that make sense? Like, if you're a president, your biggest thing is that you have the power to be social, like your media attention.
Yes, but if we lose checks and balances from Congress on the executive branch, when the executive branch is passing, so the executive branch.
But you can't pass it without.
No,
Congress
listen.
approval.
The executive branch can't do laws, can't pass laws.
Yes.
To get around that, they do things like executive orders, executive actions.
But there's like, we're learning about this in Gov right now. You have to have like a premise. Like your executive order can't just be, oh, hot dogs are illegal. Like you can't just do that.
Right. So Trump, what he's been doing, like the first day he sat in, he took like, let's say, I don't know the exact number, so there's 200.
Yeah.
And he went, read, sign, pass. And it's so many. And like all, like for example, one of those famous ones that you may have heard of. If you are born before Trump, if you were born in America, you were a United States citizen. Trump tried passing something that said it doesn't matter where you were born, you're a United States citizen. If your parents are United States citizens, or if you become a United States citizen, because there's an issue with the illegals that are coming over the border, that were giving birth to people here, and now they're just Americans, and that made him frustrated.
Yeah.
But for all the time, if you're born in America, you're an American citizen. But only like 3 countries in the world had that, and Trump was like, "This is silly," and passing executive order. That is not how things should be done. That's just simply not how America was run before Trump.
But I'm saying, like, just because Trump passed an executive order does not mean that now there's no birthright. Like, how are you gonna enforce that if nobody else agrees? If the entirety of Congress does not agree with you, how are you even gonna do that?
The entirety of Congress does not disagree with him. So, because half of it's gotta be Republican.
So, did they ban birthright citizenship?
I don't know what actually happened with that. I would like to.
Because I feel like this is a still ongoing.
I know they're going and kicking people out. You know, I know. You know, they are taking the genuine citizens.
Oh no! A federal court in New Hampshire today blocked President Trump's executive order that seeks to strip certain people.
Today?
No, this is like February 10th. Though.
Oh, okay. Back when I was like hearing about it.
And this is the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union. So
Okay,
credible source.
So how do they block it? No, I want to know. This is Gov. We're learning. We're practicing.
Yeah, I can do.
How can you pass? How can you block an executive order by state?
I mean, definitely you just like. Well, let me also undo this so I can. Computer. Are you in Gov right now?
Yeah. I don't like it.
What? Gov is my favorite class.
No, that's crazy.
Very interesting. It's also just because you're like literally talking about how people think. Like government is literally how people think. Preliminary injunction order from the bench.
This is our last research. Then I gotta skip that.
Okay, yeah, valid. We've already been here for like 15 minutes. Let's attempt to.
But I have lots.
Wait, this is very interesting. I like talking to you.
Out.
I like to. Yeah, absolutely. I like talking to you about this. Trump administration was flouting the Constitution's dictates congressional intent.
Want to know a crazy take?
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into this,
Mhm.
but because it'd probably be a large argument, because I've gone into like arguably two arguments about
Mhm.
this.
Wait, then save it for another day. Then.
No, but I'll say my point.
Okay.
I'm not even going to give any
Okay,
evidence or anything.
okay.
I'm just going to say my one sentence.
Okay, and then I'll think about it, and then I'll come back to you with it. Okay.
And you can say you can even say like I don't have any
agree.
evidence to support this,
Uh-huh.
but here's what I would you would
Okay.
think like okay.
Okay.
I think Trump is right,
Mm-hmm.
and if you were born in America, that does not make you a citizen.
I agree with you.
Really?
Yes, I agree with you. I think that argument is qualified with the state of how poor standards are in the United States. Like this is anything. I'm talking standards in general. Like food and drug standards, like what RFK is fighting against. Like stuff that's banned in India is fine in the United States, which is I think a little crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And then
Bro, like come on.
yeah. Standards of education, I think that's poor. So I feel like if you're like the standard of being a United citizen is just being born here, that's wild. So I think low standards, I think I agree with you on that.
My main point
Mhm.
for it
Mm-hmm.
is if you know you're not welcome here and your presence is illegal and you come over the border and give birth, but you are illegal. You yourself
You're
are
not
illegal.
welcome though. Think about it like that. You're not welcome.
No, you're not welcome as a citizen, as an American. You're welcome to become a citizen, but I'm talking to live in America as a citizen when you are not a citizen. And you give birth to someone in America,
Mm-hmm.
and you are now, let's say, now the administration is you're being taken away, and you're like, this is like, what about my son? Like, whatever. You knew that you were illegal.
Yeah. But it's also, there's so, like...
People are too empathetic. People expect the
Yes.
government to be too... I don't want to get into this. This is bad. I could talk about this for a long time. But yeah, that's my point.
Okay, quick counter. Okay.
Yeah, quick counter. And then I'm done. I'm not countering your counter.
Okay. But there are certain situations where people would apply for citizenship and then get deported before. So, I understand what you're saying, but I feel like there's also like certain situations where maybe it doesn't apply. Like maybe they're making an active effort to not get split from there.
They're generalizing a lot from just coming from the Mexican border. There's
Yeah,
lots of other.
course. And also just think of refugees in general. Like
Yeah.
a country that's going through trouble, like you're fleeing, and now you can't, like you fled for a reason, and you want your kids to have rights, and you're actively pursuing citizenship.
Mhm. It should be easier.
Yeah. The efficiency of the United States is very poor. Also,
Mhm.
I would like to say. So I think multiple factors. I think standards in general are just low. Okay, I think that's a good way to end it.
I got a piece on the way, baby.